So it's that fun time again. Let's update our British and Irish Lions squad to tour next year in 2025. It's only a year out, and yeah, you could say it's too far out, but it's going to come around really quick. We've got the Autumn Internationals, the Six Nations, and then just the end of the domestic seasons to impress. Let's get into it. Loose head prop. I do not see it changing from Ellis Genge, Porter and Schoeman. We are a little light on props. Who is close? Well, I think Finn Baxter is coming up on the rails, the young English prop, but still very young. Very old is Cian Healy, still doing it at the top level, but slowing down. So I think Genge, Porter and Schoeman are the three I would go for. In the hooker slot, I am promoting Wales's Dewey Lake. He skippered the side really well in Australia, showed all that power, all that physicality. When he gets it right, he is absolutely on fire. Didn't have the best first test, but a much better second test. And I think in a year's time, he's going to be top quality, maybe coming off the bench if not starting. The two Irish guys, I think they stay there. Sheehan hasn't had the best year, I guess. He's had some niggles, etc. Kelleher came in for that last test, that big win against South Africa, and had a really good game. So he staked his claim as well. George Turner's going to be very close, and the veteran Englishman Jamie George is going to be pretty close as well. His understudy Theo Dan hasn't really played enough to make a move. So Lake, Sheehan and Kelleher into a very thin area for the Four Nations. I think it doesn't go beyond Furlong, Bealham and Xander Fagerson. Those three pretty much nailed on at the moment. I don't really see many people making a charge. Let me know if you think they will. Now, I should say at this point, I'm taking 37 players like they did on the last tour. That may be different, but that's the theory we're going with. Second row, four specialists, Atoje and Martin looking a really solid pair for England. Atoje having a bit of a second win there, having a really good year. And Bernard McCarthy doing a great job for Ireland. And James Ryan very close. And Scott Cummings as well, close for Scotland. Not a massive amount to pick from for the second rows for the Four Nations. The Welsh guys may well come into it. Young Daffer Jenkins and Chris Schwinzer may get better and better. Maybe also Carter, Beard might return, but those four I'm sticking with at the moment. Of course, it's very competitive in the back row, as it is always. I haven't got Jack Morgan there yet. Pictures up there. You'll see these pictures of from Blair Skivington. They're absolutely amazing, aren't they? He just gives them to me. So, I always put his link down below for his Etsy shop. Anyway, back row, I think Cunningham South has done plenty to say. He is the man. He is going to get better and better. That big number 6. He definitely goes for me. Ben Earl maybe didn't have the best tour, but he's incredibly explosive. He showed it in the Six Nations and in parts on this tour. Whether he goes as a 7 or an 8, that's an interesting one. And I think they take Jack Willis. I know he doesn't play for England at the moment, but we saw what he could do for Toulouse, and he is just on fire. And the British and Irish Lions, they don't have any of those restrictions of the individual union selection policy. They can take whoever they want. So Jack Willis, I'm sure, would go on the Lions tour. A guy who I thought didn't get played enough for Ireland is Ryan Baird. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And even if you don't start him, he's going to be amazing for the Lions, just absolutely carving it up. Plus could play second row, which would help. Caelan Doris, I'm popping there as the captain. He is Mr. Reliable, Mr. Do Nothing Wrong. Is he as explosive as some of the others? Probably not, but he goes through such a mountain of work. Just a class operator. As is Van der Fleer, maybe not his best year, but still a top quality operator. A 7 in there, Rory Darge I would take, and Matt Fagerson, a very explosive number 8. Aaron Wainwright, very close to that one as well. Sam Underhill maybe dropped off a tiny bit on this tour, but he is close, as is Jamie Ritchie. And I'm not naming absolutely everyone, so let me know who you'd include and say was close down below. Scrum half wise, I had Alex Mitchell in the squad after the Six Nations. Maybe a little bit of a punt there, but I think he's really shown he is top quality. Definitely England's first choice. Didn't even take him off in that last test because he's so key. Gibson Park has been injured, but I don't think anyone's shown they're better than him, so he stays in there. And I'm still saying that Thomas Williams, again, we didn't see him in this tour. I am a big fan of his. Maybe he goes as the 3rd, but maybe Conor Murray has shown he's still got life in the old dog. Ben White of Scotland has been a very good player. George Horn, incredibly nippy for Scotland as well. So Mitchell, Gibson Park, definitely the 3rd. Not so sure, sticking with Williams for now. Fly half is tricky. The two I'm definitely taking are Marcus Smith and Finn Russell. Marcus Smith, this was a big tour for him. I'd backed him and I said I think he is good enough. He's not going to be perfect, but he's so attacking, so exciting. He's worth playing for England at least, and I think he's reaffirmed that. So He goes there with Russell. You could have Jack Crowley, but is he going to stay as Ireland's number one? That's an interesting one. So maybe you would. Kieran Frawley obviously kicked those amazing drop goals to beat South Africa. So maybe there's going to be a fight between those two. So maybe you do take Crowley as a third. I don't know. George Ford could be back for England. Ben Thomas had a really good tour for Wales, but so early days for him. So I'm sticking with the two for now, with other players able to act as a third fly half if needed. Into the centres, and I think you take all three Irishmen, Bundy Aki, Robbie Henshaw, Gary Ringrose. I think they're top quality. Tuipulotu's very, very creative, although you could take Hugh Jones as well. Ollie Lawrence is coming on for England at 12, although maybe not quite reliable enough. Henry Slade is very slick. He could kick goals, could cover all sorts of positions. Has he got that attacking physicality that those other four have, though? So sticking with those four, and then you can see I've got three fullbacks, but I think you take them all, plus they could play elsewhere. Looking at the three specialist wings, I think they're three very different wings. Faye Wabusu works off his wing. You can use him as a first receiver to get some extra yards. Lowe is, of course, an amazing kicker, really creative, and Van der Merwe is just that beast power man that we don't really have elsewhere. You could swap him out for Kyle Steyn, who's making a good charge for Scotland. Darcy Graham's going to be around as well, hopefully. So could go with some of those guys there, but I'm sticking with just those three because the fullbacks, George Furbank, has been on fire. Look how much England missed him in that second test against New Zealand. I think he goes. Keenan's been injured, but still he would be Ireland's first choice, I think, even though Jamie Osborne went well. And I think you can't ignore Kinghorn's form as well, especially for Toulouse. He could play fly half on the wing as well, so that's not a problem either. So I take all three of those fullbacks. Liam Williams has shown there's life in the old dog there as well, but I don't think you take him. And Jamie Osborne is a very new fullback, made a good start for Ireland, but I don't think he goes yet. So that is my squad. Those are my 37. Let me know what you think down below. If you like these sorts of videos, do like, do subscribe. That would be awesome, and I'll catch you next time.